Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z.
You're not going to believe the mess Shannon Sharpe just got dragged into. I'm talking $50 million over a few wild comments he made about an OnlyFans girl. And now, she's taking him to court, trying to cash out like she hit the lottery. And listen, Shannon didn't just sit there and take it. Man, he clapped back so hard people are still picking their jaws off the floor. It wasn't just a response, it was a straight-up mic drop. And the crazy part? This might not even be the end of it. There's already talk behind the scenes about even bigger moves coming. And trust me, when you hear what's possibly on the way, you're gonna see why this whole thing just went nuclear. So smash that subscribe button real quick, because what's happening with Shannon right now could end up being one of the wildest celeb legal battles we've seen all year. Let's get into it. So here's what just hit the fan. An OnlyFans model by the name of Sienna Jade, yeah, remember that name, just filed a $50 million lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe.
You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you.
According to the court documents, Sienna claims that Shannon publicly slandered her during one of his podcast rants, causing emotional distress, irreparable damage to her reputation, and, get this, severe financial loss. Basically, she's saying Shannon's comments about certain women monetizing their bodies and calling it entrepreneurship were aimed at her specifically, even though he never actually named her. And because of that, she says she's been losing brand deals, getting harassed online, and suffering personal anguish so bad that it's worth, wait for it, $50 million. Yeah, you heard that right, 50 million. Over a comment that didn't even say her name out loud. And the kicker? She's not just looking for a quiet settlement. Nah, Sienna's team is pushing this into full public trial mode, meaning Shannon might have to defend himself, on record, about the whole thing. Wild doesn't even begin to cover it. Alright, so you're probably wondering, how did this even start? Let's rewind a bit. A couple weeks back, Shannon was doing what he usually does.
It's a lie. The bitch is lying. Okay? The bitch is lying.
This is a shakedown.
This is Shannon Sharpe from Club Shay Shay. I know y'all have heard the news. Everybody's disappointed in me. But I just want to let everybody know Club Shay Shay ain't going nowhere.
Chopping it up on his podcast, Club Shay Shay, cracking jokes, talking real talk. At one point, the conversation shifted to online culture, and Shannon, being Shannon, didn't hold back. He said something along the lines of, nowadays, everybody thinks posting thirst traps and charging $9.99 a month makes you a business mogul. Just because you got fans doesn't mean you got a brand. And at the time, it honestly didn't feel like a big deal. It was just Shannon being blunt, mixing jokes with facts like he always does. But somebody took it personally. Enter Sienna Jade, who decided that Shannon's comments weren't just general. They were a direct attack on her career and image. Now, here's the thing. Shannon never mentioned her name. No tag, no hint, nothing specific. But Sienna still claimed that Shannon's platform, and the way his comments went viral, caused people to connect the dots and start dragging her name through the mud. And just like that, a casual podcast moment turned into a full-blown $50 million lawsuit, all because of what was supposed to be just another episode of Shannon keeping it real.
Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Crazy how fast things spiral these days, right? So when news of the lawsuit finally hit Shannon's radar, man, he did not play it safe. Shannon Sharpe jumped on Instagram Live literally the same day the story broke. And let me tell you, he didn't just clap back. He torched the whole situation. Sitting in his usual chill setup, sipping his black and mild like it was Sunday brunch, Shannon looked dead into the camera and said, and I quote, "If you took offense to what I said, maybe you're telling on yourself. 'Cause if the shoe don't fit, why you mad?" Phew. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't ranting. that's what made it even worse. It was that low-key, surgical, I said what I said energy, like he was daring anybody to try him. And then he doubled down, talking about how grown men and women need thicker skin if they want to be in the public eye. And if you put your business out there for clicks and cash, don't cry when people comment on it. No apology, no retraction, no media spin. Shannon basically told the world, this lawsuit is nothing but clout chasing, and I ain't the one. And judging by the comments rolling in while he was live, yeah, a lot of people were standing right behind him clapping it up.
I'm one of the richest men that ever lived. And I don't mean, please don't look at my net worth. I saw my net worth. I had that on me. I don't even. I swear to God.
The second Shannon's clapback hit the internet, it was like somebody dropped a match into a room full of gasoline. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. People were losing their minds. Memes started popping off in real time. One viral tweet had a side-by-side of Shannon sipping his drink with the caption, "Shannon after finding out he's getting sued for telling the truth." Another post showed a courtroom sketch meme of Shannon sitting at the defendant's table like he's bored out of his mind, with the caption, "When you know they ain't got a case but you gotta show up anyway." TikTok wasn't holding back either. Edits were flying everywhere. People were stitching clips of Shannon laughing on Club Shay Shay with captions like, "Me listening to the lawsuit while I pay $0 in damages." And you already know, the comment sections were wild. Fans were flooding Shannon's page saying things like, "Stand 10 toes down, Unk. You said nothing wrong. You didn't even say her name. This case is dumb. $50 million? She better be suing Jeff Bezos at this rate." But it wasn't all one-sided. A few people were trying to argue that Shannon should be more careful because of how big his platform is. Still, the overwhelming vibe online, Shannon didn't fold. He didn't flinch. If anything, he gained even more respect for standing his ground. And honestly, judging by how hard the internet is riding for him, this lawsuit might already be dead in the water before it even gets to trial.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
No, I ain't got no allegiance to the man. But you got to admit the role that he played, Big Perm and Friday night. You got to give him credit for the role. Now, come on.
Now, real quick, let's talk about the actual legal side of this for a second. Because yeah, $50 million sounds crazy. But can she really win that much off a few comments? Short answer, not looking good. Legal experts have already weighed in, and honestly, they're all basically saying the same thing. Winning a defamation case, especially against a public figure like Shannon Sharpe, is crazy hard. Like, next to impossible hard. First, Sienna would have to prove beyond a doubt that Shannon was specifically talking about her, even though he didn't say her name, didn't hint at her identity, didn't drop any clues. Nothing. That's strike one. Then she'd have to prove that what Shannon said was actually false. Not just rude, not just hurtful, false. And not only that, she'd have to show it was said with intent to harm her personally, not just general commentary, not just a casual opinion.
Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans.
It has to be a targeted, provable lie designed to cause damage. That's strike two. And finally, the killer blow. If you're a public figure, or you voluntarily step into the public spotlight, like, you know, building an online persona for hundreds of thousands of subscribers and selling content, you're held to a completely different standard in court. Judges expect you to deal with criticism. They expect you to deal with commentary, gossip, and public opinions. It comes with the territory. It's literally part of the price you pay for being famous, even internet famous. That's strike three. In fact, one entertainment lawyer even told TMZ, and I'm paraphrasing here, unless Shannon Sharpe flat out lied about her doing something criminal, like fraud, theft, or some other crime, this lawsuit doesn't have a leg to stand on. Translation? This case isn't about seeking real justice. It's about making noise. It's about grabbing headlines. And it's about trying to force a big-name celebrity into a quick settlement by hoping the pressure and bad press will make them fold.
Jesus ain't had nothing. So why don't be mad you say I don't have nothing? I'm one of the richest people that ever lived.
Yes.
Only in the fact that when I wake up in the morning, no matter where I am, I don't need nothing. Whatever I need is right around me, and whatever I don't have, it's only just because I don't have it.
And honestly, Even if, somehow, a judge didn't throw this thing out immediately, even if it limped into court and dragged through a messy trial, the idea that she's walking away with $50 million? Bro, the odds of that happening are about as good as winning the lottery, while getting struck by lightning, twice, on your birthday, while riding a unicycle. It's a long shot, a real long shot. So now the big question that's on everybody's mind. What does this mean for Shannon Sharpe? Is he about to lose his brand deals, his sponsors, his podcast empire, his ESPN bag? Honestly, Shannon's sitting pretty right now, cooler than the other side of the pillow. If anything, this whole situation might actually be boosting his brand even more. Because instead of panicking, apologizing, or disappearing into some PR crisis bunker, Shannon Sharpe did what Shannon always does. He stood tall, he cracked a smile, he talked his talk, and the world kept spinning, with him still standing in the middle of it. Here's why. Shannon's entire persona is built around keeping it real. That's why people love him. He's not polished like a news anchor.
What I'm saying is, like, I'm saying my net worth is less than my last Netflix deal. You understand what I'm telling you?
Make it make sense.
But I'm fine. Jesus was poor.
Reading off a teleprompter with a fake smile, he talks how real people talk. Jokes, shots, unfiltered takes, side-eye looks and all. You never have to wonder what Shannon really thinks because he tells you, straight up, every time. And the way he handled this whole lawsuit mess? Staying calm, standing on his words, refusing to apologize for something he didn't even say directly. No frantic PR statements. No lawyers issuing some watered-down clarification. Just Shannon standing tall, basically saying, if the shoe fits, lace it up yourself, but don't drag me into it. That move? It didn't just protect his image. It reinforced everything people respect about him. Because today, more than ever, brands aren't just looking for polished faces anymore. They're looking for loyalty. They're looking for authenticity. And in a world where every week feels like another celebrity putting out some boring apology for offending someone, Shannon's refusal to bend to fake outrage? It's power. It's the difference between someone who lasts and someone who trends for 5 minutes and disappears. And the receipts back it up. So far, 0 signs of sponsors dropping him. His podcast numbers? Still booming. His ESPN gigs? Locked in tight. The streets are riding with him harder than ever. And you already know how this works.
A woman can say yes to consensual sexual relations with a man 99 times, but when she says no, even once, that no means no. Defendant Shannon Sharpe, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept.
In the world of media, loyalty equals leverage. When the audience trusts you, when they know you're not fake, you can take hits and still move forward stronger than before. Long story short, unless something absolutely insane drops out of nowhere, Shannon's gonna be just fine. Matter of fact, he might come out of this even bigger than before. Bigger audience, bigger brand, bigger bag. But just when you think the drama's over, there's already whispers swirling that this lawsuit might just be the opening round of something even crazier. According to a few insiders close to Shannon's camp, and yeah, take it with a grain of salt because it's early, the word is Shannon ain't just sitting back, playing defense. Behind the scenes, there's serious talks that he's lining up a countersuit, not just to defend himself, but to go after damages, for defamation, for legal costs, for dragging his name through the mud in public. And if that happens, oh man, it's gonna flip this whole story upside down. Because once you start throwing around numbers like $50 million in public and the case turns out to be nothing but smoke, judges tend to get real interested in people wasting court time and using lawsuits as publicity stunts.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter, so I stayed away from that.
If Shannon's team decides to really pull the trigger and move forward with legal action, Sienna Jade could end up owing him a whole lot of money, not the other way around. And just imagine the flex. Shannon walking into court not as a defendant, but as the guy cashing a check for damages when it's all said and done. Now that would be legendary. Plus, it sends a loud message. Loud enough for everybody in the game to hear. You can't just randomly chase clout off somebody's name without bringing real receipts to the table. You can't build your brand by riding the wave of someone else's hard work and expect to walk away without consequences. And trust, if Shannon does move forward with a countersuit, it's not just going to be a quick headline, it's going to be a full-on media earthquake. Courtroom drama, live updates flooding Twitter, TikToks breaking down every spicy little detail, and you already know the memes are going to be locked and loaded. No official countersuit has been filed yet. But if, and when, it does, best believe it's going to set the internet on fire all over again. And this time, it's not just about defending his name, it's about making an example out of people who think clout chasing is a free ride. Man, what a roller coaster this has already been. Let's run it back real quick. An OnlyFans model drops a $50 million lawsuit on Shannon Sharpe. Shannon fires back without even blinking. The internet goes absolutely nuts. Memes, reactions, hot takes flying everywhere. Legal experts are basically laughing the case out of court. And now, there's a real chance Shannon might not just beat the case, he might flip it right back on her and cash out in the process. Wild times, bro. And honestly, knowing Shannon, if it goes down, it's not just gonna be loud, it's gonna be legendary. If you made it this far into the video, you're a real one. Make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment with whose side you think is gonna win this battle, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next twist when it drops. Because trust me, this story, it's just getting started.